Welcome back, everyone. Ari and Dax here from Next Gen Nutrition, here for episode number 7. Before we start, if you do us a massive favor, hit the subscribe button below, give this video a like, and if there's anything you guys want to see, make sure you let us know so we can cover it in a further video. Dax, we are here today to talk about a pretty big subject, something that me and you face on the daily, the weekly, the monthly, the yearly.
Well, let me guess. Stress?
Oh, yeah.
Stress.
Ding, ding, ding.
Got it.
The beautiful stress word.
Yeah.
We're going to give you guys some signs on things you can look for to prevent, because the way I like to think of it is stress is like this ticking time bomb that kind of just ticks off in the distance before it eventually explodes and you have a complete breakdown and fall to crap. So we're going to give you guys some signs to look for and some things that you guys can do to overcome and stop these signs, or if you've already exploded, maybe some things you can do to help get back on track.
Correct. Alrighty.
So yeah.
You go, sorry?
Yeah.
Okay.
So basically, obviously, I mean, we've all been stressed. Different things in life are going to stress different people different ways. And I think over the last 6 years that we've been in business, I think we've learned to deal with stress a lot better than when we're fresh.
Yep.
I think you develop a bit of resilience and a bit of thick skin to deal with stress. And I think that comes with age as well. I remember being younger, and the way that you deal with stress back then to the way I deal with stress now is completely different.
Yeah.
So any of the younger crew out there, if you're getting stressed and overwhelmed about things, just remember that. Take a step back, reassess it, and try and approach it in a different way, because usually when you do that and you break it down, that problem that you're putting so much stress and anxiety into isn't such a massive problem, hopefully. So some basic signs of stress that you guys can look for include things like your body feeling completely fatigued, like those days when you just can't get up, you feel wrecked. Your blood pressure, if you've got a blood pressure monitor at home, they're pretty cheap. You can check your blood pressure if it's elevated. Obviously, that's going to indicate some sign of stress, that your body is constantly in this fight or flight state. Stomach and digestive problems. So usually, I mean, when I get stressed, I get really bloated. I think you're the same, yeah?
Yeah. Very common.
Yeah, so super bloated, your gut's just not happy. You constantly feel like you can't digest your food and things just don't sit how they usually do. A lower libido. I think that's really evident in males. If your libido is lower, that's usually a good indication that something is off, and usually it's stress related. And then there's either a loss or a gain of appetite. I mean, for me, I usually lose my appetite. What do you?
I lose my appetite.
Yeah.
When you see a lot of people say, I'm so stressed, I end up eating like a cake or and half of this and 6 loaves of bread. And I'm just like, when I'm stressed, I can't eat.
I can't eat either. I'm the same.
That leads to weight loss for me.
Yeah, and then I stress more because I'm not eating.
That's right. That's right. But I feel like not to try and cut you off, but like everybody obviously reacts different to stress. I guess we're going to obviously touch on the effects of like stress and cortisol, which I feel most people will definitely when they're stressed will gain physical appearance of body fat and water. That's most people, right? It's very rare that people will get a lot leaner from being stressed unless it goes on for a prolonged period of time. It's good that a lot of people can notice that they're highly stressed, but a lot of people don't, and they continue to live like that. That's where it becomes a massive drama.
Becomes dangerous, especially the older you get. Yeah, it can lead to some big health problems. Like stress causes massive inflammation in your body.
That's right.
And inflammation causes everything from high stress, you can have heart attack problems, heart problems, even things like cancer from over-inflammation in the body. So it's super important that if you're stressed and you're feeling overwhelmed, you find some ways to deal with it, level out. Yeah. Otherwise, like I said, it's that ticking time bomb. You don't know what's going to happen.
That's right.
So
correct.
Obviously, when we stress, we release a beautiful hormone called cortisol. And what cortisol does when it's elevated is basically cause a bit of havoc on the body and throws everything out. And I mean, it's one of the it's one of the easiest signs to see, I reckon, when when your cortisol is high.
Yep.
Because you'll start to notice things like maybe you're holding a bit more water in your face, or you start to get acne, or you start to get a bit of weight gain around the midsection, or you might get some muscle weakness. All these little things are signs of high cortisol, and cortisol is the stress hormone. So when our bodies are stressed, releases cortisol.
Yeah, which is basically what cortisol is the stress hormone, like you were saying. And your body's natural reaction when your body releases cortisol is to release sugar and stored carbs in your muscles into your bloodstream. So what happens when you're stressed, when your body's releasing those sugars and carbs, most people are sitting in front of a computer or on the phone and they're not burning those sugars and fats off, right? They're just fucking sitting here, you're tucked away, you're stressed, you write message, you blah, blah, blah. So what happens? It's stored as fat, right? Where your body's trying to tell you when it's releasing cortisol, releasing sugar and carbs, but it's broken down in your muscles and your liver and stuff, is to try and burn it off, right? Burn those sugars and carbs off that your body's released from the cortisol. But the problem is we're not.
And you know that goes back to like the caveman era.
100%, because a lot of that's the thing. They get a release in cortisol and stress, and the motherfuckers go chase lions. So and tigers.
Or
and
they're getting chased by.
Oh, that's right.
T-Rex.
That's right. So then they're burning the sugar and the carbs that their bodies release. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
But we're not. We get stressed. We sit in. We hide away. And what happens? Where's the sugar and the carbs and stuff gonna store if you're not burning it off? Is fat.
Yeah.
And then over a prolonged period of time, if you're stressed for a long period of time, your body will also start releasing stored fat. So what happens then? You've got fat and sugar, the carbs that have broken down your muscles, being released into your bloodstream. And then what happens there? Fuck, you got fat, stored sugar, carbs, and that's released. That's going to obviously land in weight gain in your body.
Where?
Yeah, that's the dangers of having long extended periods of stress. So if you try and break that down to someone that's trying to lose weight and their body is constantly stressed and releasing cortisol,
Find an uphill battle.
yeah,
Yeah.
you're going around in circles. So it's muscle gain as well. Like if your body's constantly releasing sugar and carbs and stored fat, and you're trying to build muscle and you're not doing about it.
Well, it's very catabolic, isn't it?
It's catabolic.
It eats muscle tissue. It doesn't want it. It doesn't want that extra weight. It just wants you there to be able to run away from the T-Rex or whatever it might be.
And what happens when you're fully stressed, you really don't want to train.
Nah, you just can't be bothered.
You want to lay down.
Feel completely
you want to hide
exhausted.
away. So how do we go about trying to manage high levels of stress and cortisol? Because everybody's got it. It's hard to live your life without having some sort of stress.
I think before we touch on how to deal with it, usually between men and women, the effects of stress will present a little bit differently. Like I know for many women who come in the shop, their two main indicators that they're stressed is they're bloated and they got acne.
For sure.
And that just goes back to exactly what you said, where your body is releasing all this toxic junk, this sugar and stuff that your body can't actually process. Where do you think it's going to break out? It's going to start to come through the skin and try and go through the gut. And that's why your skin might break out, and that's why you might feel bloated. For guys, it's usually like weight gain around the sort of midsection in the face and low libido.
Yeah.
So those are the two main things that we see in customers that come in that are feeling a bit stressed and sort of looking for ways to go. But it's funny because the first thing they'll come to do is like, oh, I'll grab a fat burner.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah.
I get it. They want to fly and they want to get motivated again. But there's if we don't address the underlying issue, the fat burner's still going to do anything.
Yeah. You're
more
stressed,
caffeine.
you're having more caffeine, you're doing more exercise. Because when you exercise, your body releases cortisol. Now, having some sort of cortisol is good.
Well, you need some, yeah.
Yeah, because it's going to release more like insulin in your body, right? And if you're using those carbs and the sugar as energy, that's perfect. But if you're releasing so much to the point where you're not moving, that's exactly right.
Yeah.
You're having caffeine, you're going round and round and round, and you're just storing fat. It's an uphill battle.
Yeah.
And it's a bloody nightmare.
It is.
Yeah.
So, yeah. Obviously, we're going to give you guys some tips on if you're maybe ticking a few of those boxes, maybe your skin's breaking out, you're feeling a bit bloated, you're feeling just like your libido's gone, your body just feels completely dead. You've got no energy, your sleep's bad.
Like you said, the biggest thing in females is bloating.
Yeah, that and skin.
The skin breakout.
Yeah, breakouts.
Yeah, and also quickly too, to throw it in there, we know a lot of females will have like insulin sensitivity, right? That is also,
I think males do as well.
Males
these
as
days,
well,
yeah.
and that's can lead from having long periods of stress and high cortisol levels because their body's releasing insulin so much, right? And it's not using the carbs properly. So what happens every time they eat carbs? They're sensitive to it and it stores as fat.
And this is primarily, we find it in females, but they go the opposite. Like they usually crave those sugary and
that's right.
those foods that make you feel sort of good and give that dopamine release.
Yeah.
And when you're already sensitive to insulin and you're introducing those foods, like Dak said, it's just an uphill battle. And
it is manageable and fixable.
Huge, yeah.
Some people may have to be prescribed medication. A lot of the time it can be overcome by using good products that you would find in supplement stores and health food stores.
Yeah.
Natural ingredients, which we'll touch on.
So, yeah, I think like some ways. So I'm going to give you some topics, some ways that we can deal with cortisol. I just want you to touch on what sort of. So the first one is your diet.
Yep.
What should people be doing with their diet?
If they're suffering high cortisol?
Yeah, if they're stressed and suffering high cortisol.
Well, try and stay away from the high saturated fats and sugar, high in sugary foods, right?
Yeah.
And I think like we should be doing that anyway.
Yeah.
But if you're stressed and you've got high levels of cortisol, like we've just said before, and you're not using it up, then it's going to be stored as fat. So try and keep that to a minimal. Try and still live your life and have a day where you do that. But realistically, if you're suffering this high levels of stress and cortisol, just keep that to a really, really bare minimum.
So clean the diet up. Look for whole foods.
Whole foods. Try and limit your like caffeine intake through coffees.
Yep.
It's funny you say that because like I had a guy in the other day and he said to me, "Man, do you ever cycle off pre-workouts?" And I said, "Mate, to be honest with you, no, I don't. I do suggest that you do, but I don't." And he goes, "Oh man," he goes, "I do." And I said, "That's good." He goes, "How many coffees do you have a day?" And I said, "I don't drink coffee, I hate it." I go, "How many do you have?" And he goes, "Oh, about 5 to 6. I said, "Okay, so you cycling off your pre-workout but still having 6 cups of coffee is pretty much the same. I'm probably having less caffeine in just a pre-workout." Because that's basically the problem where people say you got to have a rest from the pre-workout for high amounts of caffeine. Well, if you're drinking 7 cups of coffee a day, you're doing worse than that. You really need to try and get to a point where you're minimizing caffeine intake in your total day.
Yep.
300 milligrams or less for females and 500 milligrams for males or less, which is just basically what they're suggesting online.
Yeah. And I mean,
I've always sort of gone with that.
At the start, that's going to be hard because when you stress, you constantly feel tired as
That's
well.
right.
But you just got to get through it. Like that first few days is going to suck, but you need to think of like, the goal down the road because like we said at the start, stress can be a ticking time bomb and you don't want it to get to that point.
Yeah.
I've let that bomb explode. I'm sure you have as well, Dax. And it resulted in a massive panic attack to the point I thought I was having a heart attack. I was ready to call the ambulance. Dead set. I was like, this is it. I'm gone.
Yeah, that's another thing. Exactly. It's not just physical appearance examples of what cortisol can do. It's obviously like mental as well. Like, it's foggy brain. You're having heart attack. Like you feel like you're having a heart attack. Anxiety, depression. It's all coming from I think cortisol's and stress is like the main problem.
You know what it is as well? We're constantly connected at the moment. Like, you've got emails coming through all hours of the day. You've got social media pumping. You've got, you're always thinking about something. And then it all just piles up. And even if you're not directly thinking about it, subconsciously your body is still thinking about it. So
That's right.
it just keeps adding some things to this bomb until it finally just explodes. So it's why it's so important to address it early and start to do these little things that we're saying now to start to mitigate and lower the risk.
For sure.
So diet number one, like we said, clean it up, get rid of the junk, refined sugars. So focus on whole foods, just a clean basic diet.
That's right.
You just touched on it. Reduce your caffeine intake. So obviously, if you're belting the caffeine, it's going to increase your blood pressure. It's going to increase your heart rate. It's going to increase stress. It's going to increase cortisol. So lower your caffeine. The next thing would be focusing on your sleep.
Yeah.
So sleep is huge for me. If I start to sacrifice my sleep within a day or two, I start to get my body is less resilient to stress. I don't know if that's the same for you.
Yeah. Well, that's the thing, and you know, and we've been told we have to be trying to get 8 to 9 hours sleep a night. Now, realistically, not everybody's getting that.
Oh man, I wish I was.
It's hard.
Yeah.
Right. But you try and find your. I know for me, 5 to 6, as ridiculous as that sound, is a good amount. But like good.
If you can get good quality,
good
5 to 6,
quality
100%.
sleep, not waking up, you know, every 20 minutes, half an hour, going to the toilet, going to the cupboard, eating rice cakes with banana, peanut butter. I don't know who's doing that. Is that's not good quality sleep. So yeah, and you know what? You can probably start the first 2 days of the week feeling all right, getting 5 hours sleep a night. But you know what? Going to hit you Wednesday or Thursday, fuck, it come crashing down.
Yeah.
So that's the thing. Like you know. We suggested put our phone to the side, reply to emails in the morning. But how many people wake up and the first thing they do, hit the alarm straight on the Instagram?
Yeah, I do it. I should.
I know it's a thing too, and it's you know what? It's probably hard for us because we check that we've either got 27,000 messages in our group chat from just talking shit, or there's definitely going to give you some messages from customers wanting advice.
Yeah,
and of course we reply. We do. So 6 o'clock or 5 o'clock in the morning, your brain, bang, you're already like writing this. I've got check-ins from clients sending glute shots at fucking 5 a.m. Scott Dixon. You know what I mean? So your brain's straight away into it. Now, I remember you telling me a while ago, I think you'd done it for about 2 weeks. You said you were feeling pretty good. You weren't literally looking at your phone or replying to anything till about 8:39. But I'm always that motherfucker that message you at 6 in the morning.
It was always you.
And you'd reply and I like, got you.
You know the worst thing? It'd be something that hasn't mattered for 6 years, but all of a sudden, it'd be like, hey man, have you seen that blue pen that was at Erina 6 years ago? And then there'd be 10 phone calls.
Yeah,
like, I think the shop's burning down. I'll call him. Like, just quickly, that blue pen that was there 6 years ago. But you know what it is? It's because you're flying on pre-workout at that time.
Yeah. Or if I had a good sleep and I feel rested. I feel better getting up at 4 o'clock in the morning to go train than I would at 6:30. I'm more awake at that time.
But you're going to bed now at like 4
I've been going to bed early.
Yeah.
I've been going to bed at like 8:30. 7:30 I was in bed last night. You can go to sleep till 8:30 maybe. It's great. Fuck, it's good. It's amazing.
All right, so sleep is super important. So we've got diet, we've got lowering your caffeine intake, we've got sleep. The other thing would be exercise. So just start to get moving. Even things as simple as going for a morning walk is going to set your head up for the rest of the day. If you want to do some weights, ease your way into it. Some breathing exercises. Take a moment out, even if it's just 15 to 20 minutes a day, and just let yourself be. Just put some, go on YouTube and put a meditation on or whatever it might be. And just give yourself that little bit of time for the day because, you know, just taking a little step out of life for that 15, 20 or 30 minutes could mean big things by the end of the day or the week. And lastly but not least, supplements. And believe it or not, there are a number of supplements on the market now which are targeted to improve sleep, lower stress, lower cortisol, balance your hormones back out. So a few of the crowd favorites in our stores, Dax.
Well, my favourite product is the Restore from our good mate Will from Primabolics. I find this product has worked amazing for me. And a lot of my customers up at Tuggerah, where I work out of, it's full of ingredients. We'll give a nutritional breakdown on that.
I'll chuck them up on the screen.
Yeah. So we won't dive too crazy into it. Basically, what this product is designed to do is help lower stress and cortisol. allowing your body to feel more relaxed at night time. Not like a sedative. It's not like having like a pharmaceutical sleeping capsule or anything like that. So once you're in bed, let your body just relax and get that deep sleep, which we all require of a nighttime, and waking up feeling a lot fresher. It can usually take only 2 to 3 days for this product to work. It's capsulated, and I've had males and females. We sell heaps of these up there because I try and stress the importance of what we've just spoken about, because it's a massive ordeal at the moment, and it has been for years, but it's never touched on enough. But Will, like from Primabolics, is a massive believer behind it. He used to work in the mine, so he understands not getting enough sleep and the stress, and it has impact on your body, and that's why he brought out such an amazing product. That's the Restore, like I was saying.
So yeah, I think with that product and these ones we're talking about, the way you notice it in the first 2 days is you wake up and you're ready to go.
That's right.
You don't wake up and you're like, oh, it's Wednesday, how am I going to get up out of bed?
Yeah,
it's just like, oh, I'm awake, I feel good, I'm ready to go.
And in the first, if you've never used a product like this, the first couple of mornings or maybe throughout the night, you may find yourself waking up and going to the toilet, peeing a fair bit, and that's just your body's natural adaptation of lowering stress and the water that you're holding on to, and you're just ridding that water. You can legit lose 3 to 4 kilos in 2 days of just water retention that you're holding from your product. This product like Restore, it's not made to lose your body to lose weight, but naturally it's going to allow your body to lose weight over time.
Stress weight, the water weight.
That's right.
A couple of other products, if you don't want capsules,
Yep.
I really like the White Wolf Zen.
Yep.
I find that's kind of just like a powdered Restore. Personally, I just mix it up before bed. I like the raspberry or the mango flavor and have that before bed. We've also got the Adrenal Switch as well. The chocolate and the salted caramel actually mix really nice into like a Greek yogurt. And yeah, like Dax said, these products are going to allow you, they're full of herbs that allow your body to combat and fight stress, so you can get a better night's sleep. You can eliminate that stress from the body. You can obviously lower the cortisol and let your hormones balance out. And as a result, those things that we were talking about at the start, so the bad skin, the bloating, the water weight, are going to start to dissipate and start to disappear, because now you have something that can control and lower that stress.
There's another product that Will does. I'll just touch on it quickly. Is the Primal Test. So like Aria was saying before, a lot of males lose libido when their body is very, very, very highly stressed. What Will's designed with this Primal Test is it's like Restore / Test Booster, right? So it's basically allowing your body to boost its natural testosterone, boosting your sex drive while lowering stress and cortisol at the same time. So can you imagine a product, as we were saying, high levels of stress and cortisol kills your sex drive. That's lowering it, while the other ingredients are increasing testosterone. So it's an amazing product. It's all well and good to just try and increase your test, but if you've got high cortisol, it's going to kill it.
Yeah.
So that's an amazing product for males. The Primal Test, stack that with the Restore if you're looking to get your sex drive up there, increase strength and lean muscle mass. Yeah.
And lastly, the last product which we banged on about pretty much almost every podcast is the Hard.
Yeah, of course.
Hard is just basically the cortisol killer. It's it really, really works wonders, and males and females absolutely love this product because it gives you like a 1-2 punch. It lowers the stress, it levels out your estrogen, and it allows you to burn stubborn fat. So I mean, for me, and I know you do as well, before bed, it's a scoop of Hard, and it's something like Restore, Zen, or Adrenal.
Every night.
Every night. And what you'll notice, especially if you start taking that Hard in conjunction with those products, when you do get up to pee those first few nights, the actual color is like, it's like really orange ember, and that's just all that toxicity coming out of your body. Within a few days, any of our ex-challengers will tell you how well that combo works. Yeah.
Absolutely.
Well, yeah, that was stress. Is there anything else you want to touch on?
We've got a couple of questions.
A few questions.
Yeah,
Sweet. So that was stress. We hope that has helped some of you guys get a grasp on what's going on. Maybe why your skin's breaking out, why you're feeling bloated, why you're constantly feeling tired. We do have a few questions as always. So Dax,
cool.
What do we got?
Coffee post-workout, good or bad for gains? I've seen Arnold say it, but I read that it's... Arnold say it's bad, but I've read that it's good.
Post-workout?
Yeah.
Like for like a recovery or something.
Yeah, coffee post
Never heard-
workout.
I'd just have one because I enjoy coffee. But
Yeah, look, I feel like post workout, you really need to. First thing you need to do is focus on nutrition, whether that's having like an amino acids
protein
product
shake.
with creatine and that, or protein shake with carbs. Having a coffee post workout, I don't feel like it's going to be good or bad.
Yeah.
I don't feel like there's not much to that.
Yeah.
Arnold probably had a lot worse things in his time than having coffee post workout. I'm not going to read that out. Training around sickness. When is appropriate and when not? Training load, etc.
You know what? That is one of my biggest pet hates is when people are sick and they train.
Yep.
Just rest. Like 2 days off the gym is one, going to be better for you, and two, not make someone else sick.
Yeah, that's right.
Like, I
You
don't
have no respect for people in the gym around you if you're training and they're sick.
Yeah, I'm
Good-
going to
it's a good
sweat it
question,
out.
Reece.
Like,
Yeah.
I'm going to sweat it out. You're not sweating anything out. Like, the virus is still in your system.
If you're training flat out like 5-6 days a week and you have for months and months and months and months, having a bit of time off is not going to
It'll
hurt.
do your world of good.
And if you're sick, you just listen to your body. It's very. I mean, it's easy to say when you really want to train, but like I had Cooper that competed 2 weeks ago, and he won, and in the teens, and we've got 4 weeks to go, and he's pumped up for the next show. 2 days later, gets the flu. He had about 19 COVID tests, all come back negative, and I made him rest the whole week. So we're a week behind the prep into the show, but now he's looking great. He's feeling better. He got over it pretty quick, but he listened to me. Thank God.
Yeah, just rest. A couple of days. Go for a walk or something.
Benefits of massage and rest days. Well,
Huge.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Massage, and yeah.
Yeah.
Sorry, you go.
I was going to say, I think if you're serious about your training and you're training hard, you should be at least getting one proper deep tissue or medial massage a month.
For sure.
Because what happens is if you're constantly training and everything's getting tight, and usually you see it a lot in guys when when their shoulders start to roll forward
Like
because
this.
it's because everything else is so tight and you can get so injured from that. So yeah, I think one remedial massage a month or every 6 weeks at least, just to release everything, because when you get that release and you're walking around like this, like you feel so much better.
Yeah, and also too, which like James has told me a lot about this, is the bloke that massages myself and a lot of other people. Your muscles when you're training will obviously load up on a lot of toxins and get trapped within the muscle. You know when you get a massage and you come out and you feel a bit fluey and you're blocked up as well. And if you basically massage is going to release that toxin. That's why it's important to drink a lot of water post massage to piss it out. And if you're not getting the massage and your body keeps releasing those toxins over the time, then you open yourself up to getting sick.
The other thing is it promotes more blood
Excuse
flow.
me.
So if you're getting more blood flow to those
That's
muscles
right.
because they're open, they're going to grow a lot quicker as well.
Do you need certs or any qualifications to work in a supplement game or a brand? You don't really need certificates. It's really good to be able to have some sort of course on, obviously, definitely knowledge behind what you're selling and what you're doing as a career, for sure. We're both qualified PTs. Inside your PT course, you also have like a short bit of part of that is on nutrition and sports nutrition. I done a short course years ago after I finished my Cert 4, which was below where I'd done it in Sydney, which was a Saturday and a Sunday, and that was on nutrition and sports nutrition. I forget what it was. Endeavour. That's what it was with Endeavour short course online. Have a look. They were really good. It was only like $500. But I feel like the years that we've got behind it really just is years in the game is probably a little bit more than just having some sort of certificate.
I think it's if you just wanted general knowledge on what different things do, 100%. But like you said, we've been doing this. We've been in this game, for over 15 years now. So
Not trying to justify us, but this is just our point. We also work with a dietitian, which is $2 up. So we learn a lot from her. So you're saying running won't burn fat? When did I say that?
when did we say that?
Oh, that was when I said no. See, that's what.
Oh, the fingers out.
Motherfucker. No, I wasn't saying running doesn't burn fat. I was saying there's other ways to burn fat. And if you don't like running and you've got sore joints, you're not made to run, or you're doing it wrong. There's other ways to burn fat. You can burn fat from running.
Well, what we said was it comes down to your primary goal.
That's right.
If you're trying to be a bodybuilder and maintain as much muscle as you can, you shouldn't be doing marathon length runs. Yeah, it's going to burn fat. Any cardio is going to burn fat because you're burning calories.
Yeah. Well, for an example, I've got 2 guys competing this weekend, are probably well under 5% body fat now. Not one of them has run this whole prep.
If you, like we said, then that thing, if you enjoy running, run.
Yeah.
But it comes down to your goal. And yes, it will burn fat, calories.
How hard is dieting for a bodybuilding show? I know this little kid who asked me. He's only 16. He's funny.
Is he keen to?
Yeah.
Yeah, mad.
He's legend. Oh. Well, you know as well.
Yeah.
You dieted for show, you know.
At the start, you're so motivated, eh?
Yeah.
You're like...
And you're like, this ain't that hard.
Yeah.
This isn't hard. This is I'm feeling good, you know. And then as it gets on and your calories drop, and you're like, fuck, I'm hungry. And that's exactly where winners and losers will separate from that point where you find where you are hungry. Because there's hungry, and then there's the point where I just touched on before. You've got these 2 guys that I prepped on the weekend. They're competing this Saturday. They have fucking suffered the last 4 or 5 weeks. I'm talking suffered to the point where they've lost it. I had a conversation with Scott yesterday, right? Like, listen to this. And where I got him using a herbal diuretic. Remember H2O?
Yeah.
And I thought I told him to get some, and he didn't. So that was my bad. But I'm saying, bro, tomorrow, 6 a.m., 3 times 6 a.m., 3 times H2O.
I think I know where this is going.
2 p.m., 3 times H2O. And then underneath I said, about 4 litres of water. And he writes back, the fuck? He goes, so do you want me having 4 litres or 6 litres? And I'm like, 4 litres. Like, I just I said 4 litres. And he goes, well, you've said fucking have 3 litres at 6 a.m. And I'm like, and it went on for 15 minutes, and I'm like, yeah, he's dieting, he's lost it. And I said, oh, did you not get the H2O diuretics? And he's like, no, what the hell are they? And I'm like, oh, the fucking diuretics called H2O. He goes, man, you're tripping me out so hard. And I was like, oh my God, that was a classic. So yeah, back to the story. It's hard. It's whether like you want to suffer and get in the most quality, best shape, and everybody will suffer. Everybody will suffer if they.
But it's not only the person going through that's suffering. If you're in a relationship,
that suffers.
It suffers as well.
Yeah.
If you're at work, that suffers. Like, it's not just you going through the comp. It's like, especially towards the end, you haven't got the energy to even have a conversation with someone.
Right,
even if someone's a joke with you, you just want to rip their head off because you're just like, how is that even funny?
And this is just honest. Like, you can get up and do okay in a bodybuilding show. If you're happy with that, that's cool. That's mad. If you really want to give it a nudge, you'll get to a point where you'll literally suffer. You will. And you become like a seagull where you walk past food. Terrible.
Everything smells better.
You're like, how the fuck did that person leave 3 chips? He could have finished the 3 chips. Like, it's hard. But, give it a go.
One of the hardest part is when people that don't understand it just start to ask you all the questions.
Yeah.
But why can't you have this? And like, are you not eating carbs anymore? And you're just like, oh man.
Yeah, I got told that you should be having carbs still.
Yeah.
Yeah. So yeah, it's hard.
It's hard.
It gets to a point where it's very, very hard. Yeah, cool.
That was it.
Yeah, that's it. Oh. That's the questions.
Sweet.
Yeah, there's a couple more, but they're just my mates being fucking smart.
Beautiful. Well, thank you guys so much for tuning in. Hope you got something out of it, like always.
Yeah, we appreciate. We've got some really good feedback from you guys watching this, and that's massive for us. So we put time away each week, and then Ari's got to go and edit it. So there's another couple of hours at least there. So we appreciate you guys tuning in and watching. Did that just turn off? Maybe it sounded like it did.
It was a fridge.
It was the fridge. I just wanted to make sure.
I thought you just turned off then.
I nearly did turned off. We appreciate it, basically. Yeah. Thank you.
Thank you, guys. If you could just hit that subscribe button. If you want to watch some of the old videos, just go through the playlist and hit the podcast. And we'll see you guys next week.
Thank you.